welcome everybody. We have so far learned belt drives. We have seen different derivations. First we saw how a belt drive works, what are the various things that are involved in a belt drive, what is called as a tension ratio. We have also seen different types of belts, how the friction is required for the purpose of transmission of power, etc. So various different aspects we have seen. We have also seen how to find out the maximum power that is transmitted, under what condition it is transmitted, and so many different things we have learned. Now after completion of the topic, let us work on some of the assignments, that means some of the exercises which are related to this topic. So you have been already given some assignments on this topic, and I am right now going to show you how to solve them. And the description will be not in details, in the sense that I am not going to calculate the values as such, but just going to give you some kind of a hint about how a particular problem is to be solved. So starting with the first problem, belt drives assignment number 3. The problem is already there with you. From the problem, the different conditions that are given, they are jotted down here. So you will find that there is a belt system, and that belt system is transmitting some power, which is given as some 8 kilowatts. So 8 kilowatts means 8,000 watts is the power that is transmitted. Now when this power is transmitted, at that time the pulley which is there it is rotating at 300 rpm, and it has got its diameter as 1 meter. The belt thickness is given as T, as 10 mm, thickness of the belt is 10 mm. Then the belt stress, that means the belt has got, it has got some material. So that material has got how much stress, tensile stress. That means suppose you try to pull that belt till it breaks, then under that condition, what is the maximum stress it can withstand? That is called as the tensile stress of a belt material, which is given in megapascals as 1.5 megapascals. Then the density of the belt material is given as 1000 kg per meter cube. And after getting all this information, what we are going to do is we are going to find out what is going to be the width of the belt. So we start like this. This is, let's just see the condition that is given. So supposing this is a belt drive. Now the angle of lap is 180 degrees. What it means is that the belt that is connected here, suppose it is a belt. Now this belt is covering the pulley by 180 degrees. So angle of overlap, angle of lapping is given as 180 degrees. Now this particular pulley is rotating at some speed which is given as 300 rpm. Let's say this is T1 and this is T2, they are the tensions in two sides, and then the diameter of this pulley is given as 1 meter. In meters it is given. So this is what is given. So we start like this. Let's first find out the belt velocity. So the belt velocity, which is shown by V, and it is given by pi d n by 60 in meters per seconds. Now from where this has come is, as you know, V is equal to R omega. Now omega, let us go to N. N is the speed in RPM, revolutions per minute. Now revolutions means N revolutions. So in one revolution, it is covering 2 pi radians. One revolution, 2 pi radians. And this revolution into how many N number of revolutions it is performing. So in one revolution 2 pi, second revolution 2 pi. So like that N revolutions will have this much amount of angle that is covered. 2 pi, and I'll write maybe here 2 pi N radians. This angle that is covered It's just corresponding it is. When you say that pulley is rotating by n RPM, that means it is covering this much angle in how many, what time? In 1 minute means 60 seconds. So this becomes angular velocity, radians per second. And then V is R omega. So when you multiply this by R, so you can say that V is equal to R into 2 pi n by 60. Now 2 into R becomes diameter, so it is pi d n by 60. 2 and R makes it d. 2 times R is d. So pi d n by 60, that is the formula for velocity. So with this formula, it is possible for us to find out what is the velocity of the belt. So suppose this is the velocity of the belt. Belt is moving with velocity v. Then that velocity you can find out by this. So in our case, we are given pi is already there. D is given. Speed, see this is n, this is d. Only thing is you have to see that it is in meters and n is in RPM by 60. So this will give you the answer of belt speed. Now we know power transmitted is given by difference in tensions multiplied by V. So T1 minus T2. Now this V is known and power is given 8000 watts. This is watts and this is in meters per second. So this will give you, say I'll write here, T1 minus T2 is how much? So much. And this is your equation number 1. So the difference in tensions, how much it is, that is given here as T1 minus T2. I think must be, mu also must be given, I have not written here. Mu value is also given in the problem, maybe 0.3 it is. Then the next thing is the ratio of tensions, T1 upon T2. I'll write here. T1 upon T2 is equal to e raised to mu theta. So mu is given, angle is given, angle of lap is 180 degrees. So 180 you have to convert into radians. So it is in radians. So you can find out how much is this ratio. If you put the value of mu and theta, theta in radians, mu is given here, theta is in degrees, you convert that into radians. So pi by 180 into 180, so it becomes pi, which is 3.14. So this will be 3.14 into 0.3 e raised to this much. That will give you another formula of T1 and T2. So this is 2. Then from 1 and 2, find T1 and T2. That means both these tensions in two sides, T1 and T2, how much it is, that we have found out by this procedure. First we found out velocity, then we have made use of velocity by equating it with power transmission given by difference in tensions into velocity. So that has given us difference in tensions T1 up minus T2. Other formula of T1 and T2, which is T1 upon T2 equal to e raised to mu theta. This second formula and this first formula, these are the two formulae having two unknowns, T1 and T2. So it is possible for us to find out the individual tensions T1 and T2 that is required. Now see what happens. Here is a belt which is rotating and we have seen a concept of centrifugal force. So because of centrifugal force, there will be additional tension which will be there in the belt. So we should say that there is also TC existing here. In the belt there is some more tension existing. Now this TC is caused by because of the rotation of the belt. Belt has got certain mass. Mass is rotating with certain angular velocity. So it has got a tendency to move, and because of that movement you will find that centrifugal tension is developed here. So as a result of that, the total tension in the belt is going to be this much. Now this tension should go up to how much? The capacity of the belt stress is this much. So by this stress, corresponding to this stress, you should have maximum capacity, how much the belt can withstand. So now that we will see how that is done. Just note this down and then we will go to the next part. Okay, now see here. We know formula for centrifugal tension. So that formula says Tc is m into v square, where m is the mass of the belt per unit length. So let us try to find out what is m in this case. So this is mass per unit length. So this is given by what is mass. So if you think of a belt, say I'll draw here. Suppose there is a cross section of the belt, and here up to here this length is say 1 meter. Then this is B and this is thickness T. Now this B is what you are asked to find out how much is the width. Thickness is already given. So B into T into 1 meter length, that is the volume of the belt whose length is 1 meter. And then what is the weight of this 1 meter length? That is what is required here, mass per unit length. So we say that it is equal to B into T into 1 meter into the density of the belt, rho. So in this case, we don't know B, but we know T. 1 meter is already there, and density of the belt material is given kg per meter cube. So this also is known. So you can find out that mass of belt is something in terms of B, you will get. The unit is kg per meter. See, B is unknown. These are all numbers. So when you calculate, you will get one number and B. B is multiplied by B, that is the width. So mass you have got in terms of B. Now you can say Tc is equal to m into v square, which you will get the answer in terms of B. Because it has got this B and v square, we already found out earlier. So square of that when you make and get this answer, that is the centrifugal tension, which is in newtons. Remember, you have to write the units everywhere. Units are most important, they have to be written everywhere. So after knowing the tension Tc, now we can say that this value of tension, so maximum tension in belt, is equal to T1 plus Tc. Now since T1 is already found out, this value you will be able to find out how much it is, because T1 and Tc both are known. So the belt has got, when it is moving with a speed of v, and when all these details are given, so for this condition the belt is experiencing a maximum tension which is this much. Now this tension we are equating with the capacity of the belt. Okay, so we'll say that this is equal to the belt stress, which is shown here, megapascals it is. So we write here, I'll write maybe here, also I'll write here also, T is equal to Ft into cross section. So Ft is given 1.5 megapascal. So it comes to 1.5 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. That is a conversion. 1 megapascal is 1 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. So this is a stress. Multiply the stress by the cross section, which is B into T. Out of that, B is not known, T is known. So you will find that this also will be a number in terms of B. That is the maximum tension the belt can withstand. So some numbers, and this B is unknown. So you will see that there is a B unknown on both sides. So on this side also this B is there, on the left side of the equation, on the right side of the equation it is this B. So I will write here. When you go further and write down, you will find that the equation is something like, it is quite clear in fact. On this left side it will be mv square, that is Tc and T1, and on the other side it is T. So when you equate, I will write here maybe from 3 and 4. From 3 and 4. You can find out the width of the belt. It is quite clear. By equating these two, on this side there is B, on the right side also there is B. So you can solve this equation and you will be able to find out what is the value of width of the belt. So that is problem number 1. Now you can write down, then we will go to the next problem. Fine. So now see here, this is second problem. The data for the second problem is given. Again there is a belt drive, and this belt again is a flat belt like last time. It has got the dimensions, the width of the belt B is given, thickness of the belt is given, that is the cross section of the belt is given. Then the coefficient of friction, belt density, material density is given, then the belt stress is given. And then we are asked to find out how much is the maximum power it can transmit. Find power transmitted. So how do we go about here is like this. Let's first find out the maximum tension what the belt can withstand. So I'll write here T, that is the tension what it can withstand. That is given by Ft into the cross section area. So in our case it is Ft into B into T, and you will get this value, which is in newtons. So the belt has got a capacity to withstand this much amount of stress. Now the mass per unit length of the belt, we have to find out mass per unit length. So that is given by cross section, that means B into T, that is a cross section, and length is 1 meter because this mass per unit length multiplied by the density of the belt material, kg per meter cube. So this is meter cube, this is kg per meter cube, so you will get mass of the belt because we are given B, T is also given, B and T are there. This is B, this is T in fact. So B, T, rho is given, so you will get the answer of this particular, how much is the mass of the belt, which is in kg per meter length. Now you will find that we have got tension, what it can withstand, and the mass of the belt also is there. So there is a formula for getting the speed of the belt. So V, that is the optimum speed of the belt, we have seen it is equal to T max upon 3m. That is the formula for getting at what speed it can run to get the maximum power transmission. That is called the optimum speed. If you remember last time we have seen a graph of V versus P, and that graph came like this, which shows that this is the optimum speed and this is the maximum power. So it can transmit maximum power at optimum speed. That is what we are asked. How much maximum power it can transmit. Power transmitted P max. So P max will be at V optimum, and at the condition of V optimum, the formula we are last time derived, it says that maximum tension in the belt is given by T max upon 3m. So since both the values are there, T max is there, m is there, so you will be able to find out the belt speed, which is the optimum belt speed at which it can run, which is this much. We also know that Tc, that is centrifugal tension, and at the optimum situation, the Tc is T max by 3 divided by 3. So this value in newtons also we know what is going to be the centrifugal tension in case of optimum condition. So having known this, now we are supposed to find out the value of T1 and T2, because you know power is T1 minus T2 into velocity. So for finding out that, we need to know what is now T1. So we also know that T1, see T max is equal to T1 plus Tc. Therefore, you can find out how much is T1 equal to so much newtons. But T max minus Tc, you will get force on the T1 side, that is the tight side of the belt. How do you find out T2 now? T2 is the ratio. So T1 is already known. So T1 upon T2 is equal to e raised to mu theta. So this will give you find T2. From this ratio, because you know mu, that is given, and you know lap, angle of lap is given 140 degrees, which you can convert into radians, and that will give you the ratio of tensions T1 and T2. Out of that, T1 is already known, so you will get the second tension T2, again in newtons, which you obtain. Now after knowing this, the next part is simple. Power transmitted, right here, P maximum power transmitted is equal to difference in tensions multiplied by V optimum. Now in our case, optimum velocity is already known, T1, T2 is already known. So you can find out, this is the power in watts. How much power this particular situation, in this situation, if the belt has got this specification, its capacity, its weight density, this mass density is this much, its stress capacity is this, it is overlapping the pulley by 140 degrees, and this is the cross section of the belt. So such belt, how much power it can transmit if you asked, then we have to go like this and find out its answer, consisting of optimum velocity of the belt. First we found out. For that we made use of how much maximum tension it can bear, which is obtained by the stress in the belt material multiplied by the cross section. Then this maximum tension in the belt and the mass per unit length of the belt has given us the optimum velocity. At the same time, centrifugal tension we wanted to know, that is T max by 3 at this particular instant. We are talking about this situation. So it is T max by 3. It is not there all the time. Only in case of optimum speed, you will get Tc is equal to T max by 3. And then after getting Tc, we got T1, then T2, and found out the power. That is how it is solved. You can write this down.